every time they run across, and we kept saying they're dying here without any kind of response of being caught running through. Speaking of being caught running through, 2 or 3 players falling down. Pambazoo on the aggressive swing cannot stop Harper, who still finds himself behind bar. Static with yet another, and NJR is left alone down in Sunrise, facing off against the onslaught of 4 Sandbox members, and they've been run out of coastline nice and quick. Time for you to check out of this one, my friends.
Yeah, DZ just kind of throwing themselves at the site in a lot of ways. They're even at the hookah doorway, as we saw. And that led to an early kill for Nova. Yeah, he got traded back out, but we saw another player immediately take his place behind the mirror window, and just as much presence being able to stop the push from DarkZero, especially in areas like hookah as well, where once again DarkZero forced the issue. While we did see a slight amount of success out of Eclipse's own push, the rest of the team not so much. A great flick there from NJR, but ultimately will be
60 seconds left, because that's normally when you can see how much info is left for the execute. Here they're left with nothing. They do get a nade through, but they have 1 drone to their name. It's currently going through sight and will likely get shot out soon. 9 seconds in the round, they may as well have no information. It's going to be a raw push in to see what they can achieve, and it's a 4 versus 4.
Nova ready to fend off the challenge here as he shuts down Eclipse after taking a few hits himself. Shael as well as HXD picking up massive numbers themselves, and just like the last round, DarkZero, yeah, get maybe 1 exchange over the course of this brute force push. NJR is going to be left alone. Was the hero of quite a few of the rounds yesterday for DC. He's got to do it again here in a 1v4 clutch. Only found that first kill, and now no easy way to back over towards the case. Work his way in and immediately be shut down by Nova as Sandbox quickly get themselves a second round.
Or we'll join on that drone game to find out what the next play is. Then you enter that kind of execution setup phase, and of course the execute then follows not too long after. That's so unlucky for sure. Yes. Very, very unlucky. But
opportunity to catch NJR, another member of DarkZero, that will try to peek through these top-down angles. That opportunity is going to be possibly coming up in a second, but Envy Taylor gets the first strike back as he's able to take down Hyper here as we go under 1 minute for DarkZero to get themselves onto this site. They have indeed shifted back to a more traditional playstyle here, but time is going. NJR also takes a few hits through the floor, but here comes the rest of the squad, working their way in, already having the window access, and now pushing in through pool door. Static has fended off the first player, but Canadian and NJR fend off the next 2. It's left just HXD and Static to bring it back under their control. Case was down temporarily for DZ, but they've already retrieved it, and in a second here, should be able to get an uninterrupted plan off as Panba will commit to it.
Absolutely will. 2 of them coming back in from the hallway, stepping back in. They've got the red pings coming through. Know that one's on the above, and one cannot get off sight. Tucked in, Pamba finds the one that he needs. All they've got to try and take here is a couple of easy fights. 1, can they find the second? No, they can't. Harper has got it all to try and do. Smokes his way out here, which may deter NJR or Canadian from jumping in. But they've got to make the move. In through smoke he goes. It's an easy pre-fire for Canadian. DarkZero find the round after a flurry of kills in the mid-round. Out the challenge onto NJR, reminding him that he's never quite safe or comfortable down there, but not yet losing a member. Hyper striking first. It's Static to fall down. The 5 versus 4 should now be that point of inflection for DarkZero to say, okay, that's the opening kill, let's make a move. Envy rotating up, finds 1, finds 2, pushing his way up through luggage. They had no idea he was there. Again, the drone's low. They don't have this information on the flanks, and it's coming back to bite them. 10 seconds set in, 4 versus 3.
Hyper focus on the push here for the members of DZ has left the roam game completely undealt with here, meaning Sandbox has complete freedom to play their own game. Hyper's alone. That doesn't mean he's out of the round, though, forcing the issue. The gun 6 things off as he tries every move he can to get those kills, but it's just not enough. Sandbox closes out. Somewhat understand why they're willing to constantly throw it in, because that is an evolving defense that at Sandbox have positioned back there. Here comes the execute, though, as the Candelas are getting ready to throw it in. Envy Taylor is going to have one thrown right into his face. He has to fall back into the depths of the bathroom and hope he can remain safe, but it's not going to be the case. HXD, he's ready to move out, but no, Panba has the position behind the Lambo, and he takes out HXD instead. DarkZero are maintaining, and now they're bringing out the smokes and the rest of these Candelas to push onto the site. Nova as well can't maintain as he overpeaks the window, and NJR takes him out from there as well. This is a beautiful execute from DZ, in fact a flawless one, as they take a second round.
Flashbangs, it's almost like they've done the math and calculated, hey, we can burn through these, and then you've got to worry about the Gon 6s coming in too. Like, there is no excuse to not be finding kills with these nade kills. I'm aware that at the minute, trying to nade people through the floor puts them down to a... Oh! Are you kidding me? Welcome to APAC, friends.
I knew he had the shotgun for a reason, and I was like...
When is an NA team ever going to expect someone to come flying out of that window? Their only C4 on Static connects onto the right man, brings down Hyper. They are matched on frag grenade or explosive kills so far in terms of what the frag grenades have done versus what C4s have done. That's crazy. Shield, surely dead to rights. How does he get out with 2 grenades dancing around him and a man on the window? I will never know.
The cross is just not there at the moment for DZ, unfortunately. He's play at this point, as away from that, they are locked into a 2v5 with just Canadian and Eclipse left in the fight. Eclipse starts us off well, though, from this 2v5 by finding the clean kill against Nova. Barely any damage being reciprocated onto him.
For this man to be taken out, Shyle trying to contest his way up. Cool vibes. They've got the right idea. Eclipse goes down to the pump. It's a 2-pump coming in for the Pulse, and Envy to close things out. It's another victorious round coming.
Find much use out of them should the push fail anyway. Great positioning from Shyle here. Gets the door open. Knew there was going to be a player behind the bar. You could see the preset drone here to get that intel, and immediately shuts him down on the peak. Canadian wants revenge, but will he be able to get it as Static is coming in for a fight?
Started taking a bit of damage, but look how aggressive he's going here as well. Gets the down onto Canadian. Drones are blinking red everywhere as information is shared for both teams here. One down on either side. One side also to cover himself if so required. One on the downstairs, one pushing the way up onto the hookah balcony. As it stands, this feels like another Sandbox round.
See Shyle keeping close eyes on Canadian to make sure no one was able to sneak up and revive him. Certainly not going to be the case, especially with Static being exposed.
To be precise, 2 still in back pocket. Use this time to collect the information that you need, and they were just ready. Again, APAC know this playstyle. It is all they've known for the last 2 or 3 years. You are not going to surprise them. Pop a pump out there ready, finds MB Taylor. It's at least one coming back in, but NGR has been in a 1vx a few too many times this game.
The air jab just reconfirms that he's still on the inside of hookah and hasn't tried the transition yet, so still keeping good pacing on it here for Sandbox. You can see Sandbox not worried about this position at all, as they've got the cutoff. Static moving from the rappel over to off, it looks like, but way too far away, and we're focused on the site execute anyway, as these members of Sandbox are now, for the time being, worried about trying to bleed out the extra time remaining on the Toxic Bait. They actually find a spot where Nova can sneak through and not be affected by it. Beautiful work from him, but no! We are going to see a headshot snuck in, less than a second remaining on that plant timer as well. That's a huge loss for Sandbox, and someone needs to move in quickly to try and make up for it.
They've got time, there's 45 seconds to play with here. It was a very early plant in a slightly alternative spot as well that almost worked out wonderfully for them. Hyper holding the tight angle here, daring the man to come pushing in. I hope to God they know he's here. They should know about this. And Static finds another. One comes through and he swings it. How on earth has he got away with that? Pamba in a 1 versus 3, but they've got more than enough time to play with here. No C4 on side, no denial coming in onto the default plant spot. Flashed out, trapped inside VIP. Sandbox are looking set for match point. What a round from Sandbox. Chin Eclipse in the hallway, one inside of lobby. They're just setting up a defensive line here to keep them at bay constantly, and it's given Sandbox no ability to control any part of the map. Really good by DarkZero so far, with Canadian starting with an opening kill outside in towards the Ferrari area. Great first starting point, and in comes Sandbox. This could go horribly wrong.
Nova's going to be leading it as well here, trying to force the issue on the planet. It just does not work out in any aspect. Canadian still has the cutoff. Panda as well, starting to punish these players as they begin to move in as HXD falls next. Envy was ready to make a push from the window, but as DarkZero has this covered. At least 2 players in the neighborhood. Panda being one of them, and oh no!
Oh,
Shyle
wow.
accidentally knocking out Envy while he had an angle onto Eclipse, leaving just him in this fight now. Sub 15 seconds as well, so DarkZero really in full control and looking safe to pick up a 3rd round.
Yes, much better round out of DarkZero. Great defense coming in and remaining stalwart. The confidence is there. Canadian doing the work. And for the first time, I feel it's fair to say against Sandbox, that wasn't a great round. And the shield that's on 90 isn't as effective. So the wall currently between NGR and Pamba is the one that I'm thinking should really look to be reinforced off. Great shot by Canadian on the Echo as well.
For a path to get himself up to the 2nd floor, begin putting pressure on the other side. His opponents know he's here though, and Static doesn't seem to be ready for the challenge as Eclipse just walks right out and takes the duel. Gets a bit too greedy though, as HXD will be able to refrag him, taking Eclipse out of this picture, but still an advantage for DarkZero as things go down to a 4v3.
There's no way that Harper or Static there are expecting him to come pushing, but it's good that Harper was nearby to go for the fight back. Hyper finding yet another, and Shyle has got some work to do along with Harper. They know that one's inside VIP. Nova not able to find his man, sees the head and finds him first. A 2 versus 3, sees the 3rd, but can't quite find Pambazoo, who tucks in tight. Now wants to try and run this clock down. Shyle, what a shot to come into a 2K. It's a 2 versus 2. Hyper and Nadian, all that keeps DarkZero in this game as another EE1D rings out. Great side angle being held by Canadian, and now it's a 1 versus 2 for Shyle. Should be able to get the closeout. Nadian with a massive 3K.
Some of these barricades that are set up here, as they do have a couple presets to work off of themselves. I'm not sure if they're going to be actual as of yet, but it's Canadian that goes for the wild swing again at the beginning of the round towards the kitchen window, and will be caught this time by Static.
Saw him on the drone as well. That's all they need. A little bit of information goes a long way. It is invaluable. That's why I stress about drones so much. Static charging his way in, almost dying out to the hatch. I spoke about information. It almost didn't matter. But Static finding Eclipse at the bottom of Cool Vibe. So much control being lost by DarkZero here so early on. This ground floor is now clear.
Pressure coming from just Static alone right now is impressive, to say the least here. The 2 kills he's picked up for himself. Envy Taylor with a great cutoff by the Lambo doorway. Finishes off Panbu as well, taking him out of this fight and leaving DZ with only 2 players standing to try and clutch things out and keep their chances of picking up points from this game alive. NJR also taking lots of heat from the inside of Aqua here.
Where's Sandbox? They pull the trigger in a 4 versus 2. This could be done.
Hyper, a good first response here, is able to take out Shael, makes the numbers a lot more palatable to play with here.
Envy, and he's still got a drone left alive, yet he isn't on the drone. Like, your team need this information. They're not quite sure of where to push. Static finds himself another kill. There's 1 more remaining, and 40 seconds to play. NJR, is it time to finally clutch one of these? 1v3, sees the man at long angle, but can't quite find him. Both down to a slither of HP. Takes the angle, but no! Nova wins it out. Sandbox hand DarkZero their 3rd defeat and move themselves to tied 1st place.
NJR coming